Hello, hello, hello. Towards the stream we go. Hello, hello, hello. Now, let's see what we can do today. Pick things up. We don't repeat on ourselves. All that lovely sort of thing. Hello, Stevie. How we doing? Steve, hello, my lord. Can you hear me, Steve? Okay, very quiet I can deal with. Not being able to hear it at all is quite bad, but very quiet we can deal with. Hello, Vagabond, how are we? Tried to change the name of the stream, couldn't remember how to do it. We're going to be painting some Battlemechs. We've got our urban mechs, got them all base coated up, and we've got our awesome. We're going to have a work on that today, which I think will be a bit of fun. I was going to work on some other bits and pieces today, but I did not get them dry brushed on time. So yeah, so we're gonna have a play around with some Battletech. Yeah, some zoomed in, some zoomy zooms. Ooh, it's cold. It's cold. So for anyone who doesn't know, I've made it a Twitch affiliate now, so you should be earning channel points, or you have the possibility of earning channel points. And then you will be able to kind of have to figure out some proper things we can do with those. And yeah, I'll implement them before Thursday, hopefully. And people can subscribe to the channel, do bits, and all that sort of stuff. All that should actually work at the moment, but not 100% sure. Yeah, so we're going to take a break from Legion of the Damned today. I couldn't remember how to figure out how to change the stream. Oh, we've got some of our Legion of the Damned. Kind of that's where we left our Marnius Calgar there. He's got his glowing green fists. His base sorted. And oh, thank you very much for subscribing, Morbo. There's absolutely no need to subscribe. That was literally just me kind of shouting that out there, but thank you very much for that. So there we are. So we have work done. We have our, some of the other stuff. I got ready. This has been airbrushed or dry brushed rather, ready to go. So that's going to be on our painting schedule fairly soon. I also did 10 of the Infernus Marines. So unfortunately, I thought they'd all been done correctly, but actually there's an angle on them I appear to have missed. So I'm not going to be painting them today because the one angle I've missed is quite a big angle, and I'm going to have to go back over it and do some more of that. What we are going to do today is we're going to start base coating up these models because I want to do something. I want to do something with this squad of this squado. Yes, thank you for the sub. There's never any need to actually sub to me, by the way. I do this for fun with my people. Um, but yeah, no, it's delightful to actually have a sub. Thank you very much. That does mean a lot. So yeah, so we're going to have these. I can't give it back. Um, you'll have to rage away. So I'm going to use the a huge brush to do some dry brushing. Can't spend all day dry brushing. What we're going to do is we're going to use a couple of paints that you've seen me use before: the alien purple and toxic boils, because I want these mechs to kind of just be a bit different. I'm not known for doing the standard sort of thing that anyone else does on their mechs. I don't know how the game works and all the colors that things should appropriately be, so I'm just going to go with stuff that I like. I quite like doing purples on things. So I'm going to put some of that purple out in the palette. Is the camera zoomed in enough? Do we need that zoomed in more? Just going to give these kind of a all over dry brush. Unlike with our Legion of the Damned, we're actually trying not to hit the bases here because of the bases we actually want to be a different color. We are going to leave all the crevices nice and light. Don't need to worry about them. I want them to be our shadows. And we're going to make these up as kind of a little mercenary lance. So how's everyone feeling? I know some of you had been feeling unwell recently. Are we improving? Or are things just the same? Are we struggling on? Obviously not going to call out anyone's medical history on stream. This is going to be one of those trust the process things, because I'm just gonna go along adding these various different colors and then seeing how it kind of comes together at the end. Because it's too easy to get disheartened. You can get disheartened really quickly when painting minis when you start off and you look at something that somebody else has done and you go, oh, I want to do that, I can do that. You start painting it and it does not turn out how you want it to turn out. It's very easy to get off put. But until you sit back with your finished mini, there's not much point in worrying about it. Yeah, only get worried about your life at the very end, Morba. Look back at it then and go, oh, maybe I should have become a pro skater. While I played a lot of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater when I was younger, I never had the idea of becoming a pro skater. Because I looked at it and went, I'd die. I would die a horrible, horrible death. Probably trying to do a 360 over a spinning helicopter, which has been known not to go well. So at the moment, this purple is kind of quite dark here, so can't really see the difference on it yet. It'll all be just looking the same at the moment. I never really skated, to be honest. I spent a lot of time playing Tony Hawk, but never really skating. Something my bones probably thank me for greatly. Maybe I should try stream me trying to play Pro Skater again. See if I still got the muscle memory for all the various different tricks. Knees, lower back, shoulders, all those sort of things. All overrated. There's a lot of things we can't do as much now once we've gotten a little older. I'm being quite generous and just saying a little older. I've gotten a lot older since then. That was literally half my life ago since I did all that. But someone had to do it. It's funny at times you see the kind of stuff that people, the kind of muscle memory people still have to do various different things. Things that still probably kill me if I tried to do them. They might have hurt me when I tried to do them in years past. I remember being a teenager and trying to execute a perfect front flip on a bouncy castle. And I did. It looked excellent. The only problem was I flipped so straight I landed on my own face first into my own knee, which I tell you is not the ideal way to do it. Yeah, vagabond. That seems like a life well lived. At least you can look back and say you weren't bored. I'd sing the song more about, but I don't want to get copyrighted. Yeah, ibuprofen is a lot actually cheaper over in England than it is over here. But you pick some up in the airport every now and then because it's actually that much cheaper. Okay, so we're not going to be actually bothering to change or clean out our brush yet. So we're just going to go on to the toxic boils straight away. We're going to do a softer dry brushing on this one, or an actual dry brushing because the last one wasn't really a dry brushing at all. It was just slathering paint on. So now we're just kind of going from the top down on these rather than hitting everything from every direction. Just trying to hit some of the raised surfaces and pick out some of that detail. See, they're starting to get some life now to them. It doesn't just look like that black anymore. It's always this stage of painting that goes really quickly. You're just slapping paint on things. When you go back to the detail, it starts to slow down. So if anybody's unaware in the chat, Morbolicious there actually does his own streaming, which I mod for him. So we just kind of change over mod seats for different times of the week. So feel free to click on his channel and give him a shout out. Go on, Morbo, give yourself a shout out there so people can see you. So I well recommend following his channel because he plays some fun games. I think you have to do the / shout out. Actually, type it out long ways. I don't know why that doesn't work, but I found that out at some stage. Oh, sad Morbo. You don't like sad Morbo. There we go. Shout out to the Morbo. You see when we go back to these and we've got more of just the pure paint. It's not mixed in with the previous layer. Brightens it up considerably. Again, just want to catch these raised details. The walking bunkers that are Urbanmechs. Oop, lost the camera there for a second. Mechpex. Welcome in, Mark. How are you doing? Yeah, I have no clear plan of what I want to paint these mechs as, but I didn't want to go with any of the usual clans and stuff like that. So we're just going to throw some paint on and see where we go. Which are all very welcome in. Considering we've now gotten these in the last 15-20 minutes from black to a semi-decent state where they could actually be put on a board. Screenshot was just trying to catch up, was it? Now people could probably tell me that there is a there's a Battletech nation or unit that uses purple. But I don't know that, so that's okay. Yeah, I was thinking Mark is my go-to for Battletech. If anyone would know it, he would. Now, giant size brush, go away for this. Right, so we've got to start on things. Now, the next thing is either we do the base, which we'll be doing kind of a grey. We either do a grey or a brown base. What do we think, folks? Do we do a brown or a brown base? Going with an awesome with a. I have no idea if that's meant to be 9 hex keep away area around it. Yeah, well, yeah, awesomes are fairly dangerous. Do like a good stompy awesome, and it's here babysitting these little urban mechs. Grey, 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 grey. It's the horrible point where it's revealed that I do not have as much grey or as many paints as I thought I had because I can't find a grey. Oh dear, That's a wash. We don't want that. Morbo's on his banhammer there. Curse these vile people for entering our chat as bots. Now, this called itself grey, but it is actually model color German World War II Luftwaffe blue. Okay. I mean, that's definitely a name you could call a paint. Not sure it's the name I would like to call a paint, but you be you, buddy. You be you. We're having troubles with the camera today, are we? Do you know if these bots were actually an AI? I'd be impressed, but they're not. I don't know what the purpose of bots actually is on channels such as mine, but they're there. Morbo has a tragic backstory in his family about fighting Skynet. It's a long-standing tradition that they fight Skynet. There's actually been a series of documentaries about it. Got a great theme tune to that. Dun, 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 dun. So Morbo, how good is your Arnie accent? Can we make that a sound request on your channel that you have to speak in an Arnie accent for the next while? Shouting, "Get to the job!" I don't think I've ever actually heard you to an Arnie accent. You see, when we add the grey, it really helps kind of pick them out from the bases. There is kind of a traditional thing in Battletech that I've seen, that some people mark the front edge of the base, um, so that they can actually see which way the model is officially facing. Don't know if I'll need to do that, but we might have a look at it. Put some hazard stripes on the front part of the base, so people know that it's pointing that way. It's like a claymore, point towards enemy. It's nice to make them stand out a bit. There are certain parts to painting that models start to come into their own, and you kind of start realizing, oh, that's actually it's actually a point I could play with it, or you don't mind sharing pictures of it. Yeah. And for different models, that'll come in different. That was far too much of that color down. And for different models, that'll come in different places. If you're one of those super serious painters, it'll probably come much later down the line. You'll only want to show it when it's show ready. Hey, Lorcan. All right, Morgo. I will speak to you later. Enjoy listening to my dulcet tones. Yeah, there is a way to update the stream. I thought I knew where it was, so I thought in the few minutes that I was prepping to get ready to go live today on the stream, I was like, oh, Grant, I'll just find that and I'll throw that together. And then I completely forgot where it was. Could not find how to update the stream info, and so it was left as Warhammer 40k. At the moment, we're just lashing some coats on some Battletechs just to get something started on them. I didn't want to have them sitting there, specifically base them up. Got some basing material on them. Wanted to get them started because I haven't painted a Battletech in quite a while now at this stage. I didn't want them to be just sat there, unloved, unwanted. It doesn't mean that next time I go to a games convention where people are running Battletech, I can bring along some models and say, I would like to play these silly people, please. But today is a start on our Battlemechs. I am almost tempted. What do people feel about black bases versus different colours? Because I'm almost tempted to do the actual bases grey as well, so they'll be able to tie into the mats easier. Normally, I would go with just a black rim. This could work. You don't think it'll catch on, or can people actually playing Battletech? I mean, it's such a new and interesting part of the hobby that's just rising up. I'm hearing about this new Warhammer 40k thing. Apparently, it's meant to be a Battletech killer. It'll just sweep the scene. I wonder how sales are going compared to the two. Because So I know Battletech sales are up quite a lot compared to what they used to be since the new plastics and the Kickstarters and stuff like that. But then 40k is such a staple. It's a good point, Lorcan. Why did they need 40,000 versions just to get to this stage of it? And saying that 40k has just launched its, well, not just launched, it's into its 10th edition now. And it's, I wonder if it's much like some of the other editions where it's actually just dropped people's entire armies. They can't do anything with now because the models don't exist or they've been sent off to some sort of gulag. It's not something they used to do. At least you can always say that about Battletech. You can always use the old models. I mean, it's dangerous to use the old models because if you look too hard at the old metal Battletech models, they could just fall over and break apart. Well, they were there. Alright, so we have a start on our laps. There are four urban mechs and their awesome babysitter. It was awesome in two different ways. The new metal mechs can fall apart quickly. I mean, being third in that list is quite impressive actually for Battletech. WizKids just kind of they can afford to push their stuff so much further. Because I've got some of this paint left over, I'm actually going to do some dry brushing on this dread because I want to wait for some of the detail we've painted on here to actually dry. Still a bit heavier than I would like. That's a lot heavier. Why is that coming out so heavy on that brush? Thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you everyone who's liked, who's followed and subscribed to the channel. We actually got Twitch affiliate, got offered that over the weekend from Twitch. Which was nice. Means people can now subscribe to the channel and spend bits and all that sort of thing. There's no need to do any of that, but you have the option of doing it. Waiting for this top 10 list from Lorcan now. What's going on with some of that paint? Yeah, Star Wars Legion at the moment. I've heard a lot of people playing that. It's something I'm interested in myself, and I've heard a lot of people playing it. And then, let's see the other ones there. Marvel Crisis Protocol. That's another one that seems to be coming out. I've got a couple of friends who play Malifaux over in the UK. Again, never one of those games I got into myself, despite some very nice looking minis. It's probably getting cheaper to get into than 40k. Probably not as cheaper to get into than Battletech. They are all metal minis. They're very pretty minis, but they are all metal. Metal minis can be a pain. Right, we need Battletech to dry a bit further. So while Battletech is drying a bit further, we might do some of the base for the Shred. With their alien purple. Let's see what I get some of that on us. So you see here we've got some flat pieces and some textured areas. The flat pieces are where we're going to put in the kind of the green glow that we did before, and then the other areas are just where we're going to put in this kind of purple that we use the general ground texture for whatever my Legion of the Damned models are meant to be walking on. It's best not to overthink these things. Yeah, you've got to have the odd super heavy mech standing around. God, can you imagine how many tons that would be compared to that? It's not quite dropship size, but you know. It's going to make an impact. Yeah, I'm just throwing some paint on this while we're waiting for the mechs to dry. Which by the looks of it won't be too long. We'll be back on the mechs. What should we try? Should I pick out some of the details on the mechs next? Maybe try go in with a smaller brush and pick up those cockpit lenses. Try how comfy an urban mech is. I mean, it doesn't walk very quickly, so you're not going to get jarred around as much. They probably spend a lot of their time sitting still, trying not to be noticed. So that's the last thing you want to be in an urban mech, isn't noticed. Now, it doesn't matter with this sort of basing with paint that you hit up around the feet or you hit up around the train, because there's always a certain amount of bleed over between the two anyway. Whatever you're walking in tends to get stuck on your shoes. I had someone telling me there the other day that there's an option for the urban mech that you can actually deploy a nuke from it, just a one-shot nuke. Hey, Corvus, how are you? No need to apologize. Thank you for coming along and joining us. Corvus there is another lovely channel that people should think about joining, subscribing to. He's also my regular dark tide buddy these days. Just finished blocking in some of this color. So mainly today we're going to be working on the Battletechs. But we have to wait for some of that stuff to dry. There we go. So we've got the base locked in on that. Now what we'll do is before we actually put in the screen, we're going to do the highlights on all the purpley bits, because then we don't have to worry about it spilling over onto the green, and then the green can just be done separately after, because it'll just fill in all the cracks and crevices after. What's IWM too many of? For those of us not in the know. Yeah, I love the idea of these tiny little urban mechs is just like sitting way at the back, and people are like, ah, yeah, there's no point shooting at that. Don't worry about it. It's just lining up this small tactical. Yeah, when you only got one shot, make it count. Iron Wind Metals. Haven't heard of them. Are they kind of an official licensed people for selling BattleTech minis, or are they some people have gone incredibly rogue? Right, now we were talking about doing the windshield on these. So what I can see is they have an amazing amount of viewports on them they can see out of. So all I can imagine is when you're in an urban mech, you're basically sitting in a lazy boy in there with an Xbox pad. That's how you drive an urban mech. Stomping along, playing it like it's Xbox. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some blue to work as our kind of our screens here. Get a reasonable sized brush now. We've only used ridiculous sized brushes so far, but we'll do some reasonable sized brushes. They do exist. Something with an actual tip to it. Control controlling it with a Wii controller. Yeah, they look like you have that's the amount of dexterity you would need to control them. That's probably why they don't go very fast. Peeling some paint off the palette. So this one here. So weapon wise, we have that's the AC-10 and a small laser, which is pointless. That's the AC-20. That's what 15 SRMs. That's the SRM or the LRM-20, and then there's just the awesome. We could probably kill most of them in one round of shooting. You know, it's got options. Is anyone getting up at any hobby today, or is it just me? Oh, thank you, Lauren. What term is it? Oh, it's 18 tubes and MRM. So I'm used to SRMs and LRMs. I didn't know there was actually MRMs, which I presume is kind of medium range missiles. One would guess. But who knows? The world is alive these days in three-letter acronyms. Just about any business you can work in, or even not business, hobbies in this occasion, can be just alive with them. I can't remember which hobby site it is I used to look at, but one of them used to have built-in lexicon to their page that had all the various different uh, three-letter acronyms just explained, because people would kind of be like, "Oh, you're using the SVD9," and people are like, well, "What's an SVD?" So it would save a lot of comments with people actually explaining it that way. And some of them might have multiple multiple ideas of what they could be. It's like if I only refer to my website as if I only refer to my website as SBG rather than stepping between games. Oh, I'm on a big TV with chorus. He's just sitting back thinking I could do that better. The medium macro missile massacre. Yeah, that makes sense. But that's more. Oh, who doesn't need a shark punching droid? Shark Week has taught me anything, and it hasn't. We could all use a shark punching droid now and then. Is it only Americans that really go for Shark Week, or is that done anywhere else? I only know of the kind of the phrase and the joke of it, but I've never actually seen a Shark Week. Oh, camera angles. You are tricky. The History Channel used to make sense more about. It used to have reasonable things on it, but then they ran out of things to report on. So they just let the conspiracy nuts go crazy. Yeah, so I'm getting the feeling we don't actually have much knowledge on Shark Week. There's Americans somewhere just going, "How did they not know?" We won't be prepared when the sharks rise up. But honestly, I don't think we're the first place they're coming for. Now, focus. Me focus on that whatsoever. Hey, ads, how we doing? Welcome to Invasion of the Battletech, or as we're currently talking about, Shark Week. What has it done for us lately? Best feedback on something I've got coming up in the next issue of Shrapnel. Yeah, I do like some purple and pink combos. What is Shrapnel, Lorcan, that you have an article coming out in? Aliens built literally everything before 1400 AD. Oh dear. Listen, I am constantly amazed by what people can do with the chisel and marble, but I do believe it's doable. Oh, good work, Lorcan. That's their official? So is that available on their website? Is that like an e-zine, or is it a published thing? Do you get a free copy when you publish something to it? I had a couple of articles in a thing called the Golden D6. So various different parts of various different kind of miniature painting things. Just a few articles on that, and they gave me free digital copies of it. A geoarchaeologist. Is that different from an archaeologist, Corvus? This chat is going all over the place today. Gotta watch out for Big Chisel. Or is it Big Marble? Just trying to sell you blocks of marble, saying, look, if a human did this, you can do it. And then once you have a half ton of marble delivered to your front door, they're like, yeah, no take backsies. Yeah, the amount of abstract thinking you need to look at something like a block of marble and just kind of go, I know how I'm going to cut this way and that way to somehow realize the image in my head that is in there. think we just need to subscribe to all the things, Corvus. The only way to get through it. Soul sampling supporting the Chili Peppers back in '94. I think when I actually saw the Chili Peppers, I think it was they over in Ireland in '98. Did see them live once in Lansdowne Road. No idea what Lansdowne Road is actually called these days. It's the V or something. Should be legal to change these places. Can't change their names. They've been called that for years. Why are we talking about dating snails? And even worse about only dating the snails, the shells of snails? That just doesn't seem on. I like how I asked an incredibly awkward conversation about what Morbo is talking to. He just leaves. Like, I'm gone. Sorry, I have to fly. My people need me. Okie dokie, folks. What's next, do we think, on our next? We spent less than an hour on them, and we've got them to a three-color minimum. Oh, thank you for the biddies. I haven't got sound effects on. Sorry, in my headphones, I don't have sound effects on, so I don't know what's going on. So if anyone's followed or anything like that, thank you. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, as Morbo is kind of signaling there, I'm now a Twitch affiliate, so people can subscribe. If you've got an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free. You can spend biddies, and you can alternatively do none of those things and just chill out. Both are very valid options, right? So we've got some mechs coming along. I like the fact that they've all got slightly different levels of pink and purple on them as well. It wasn't a conscious choice; it's just kind of ended up that way. So we might do is will we do some silvers in? I'd put them in there itself. It's a good policy to have. If I wanted to make money, I wouldn't be on Twitch streaming now, would I? That's not what I'm here for. Do I even have some I made earlier? If we wanted to look at some mechs I made earlier, we can do those. So we have Optimus Prime as an Atlas. Dun, 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 dun. We have a mad cat. Everyone should have a mad cat in their life. Is it a marauder? Is it a catapult? Who knows? It's a mad cat. Um, we have a king crab, which is actually painted in my Tyranid paint scheme. We have the catapult, because occasionally you just want to fire quite a lot of missiles at people at range, so they can't shoot back. We have my only 3D printed mech, which is my Corsair from Mech Warrior Mercenaries, Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries, which is what's called a Franken mech. So it's built out of various different parts. They're just kind of all cobbled together. Actually, the mech in the game, the computer game, doesn't actually have a right arm; it just has more guns mounted on the left. That's an actual 3D printed mini, because you can't actually. There's no official model of it. I doubt there ever will be. Um, yeah, my colors are a bit all over the place for these. And here is the Marauder 3, which is just a monster. And it is kind of done up as Jetfire to go along with Optimus Prime. And if you see these five at the back here, I'm pretty sure that all five of these at the back here actually came from Mark in the chat. I'm pretty sure he got me all of them. So thank you, Mark. Yeah, he definitely didn't get me the Corsair because he hates it. He truly, truly hates it. Okay, Lorcan, you get the Corsair. Oh, the King Crab was from you, Lorcan. I apologize. If that had been mentioned to me, I have forgotten this. Yeah, that's once again the BattleTech the BattleTech solution in Ireland is to slowly drag people into the game by giving them miniatures and being nice to them. How insidious! How very dare they? Yeah, most of my mechs have been gifted to me by other people, which is just lovely. That means it's a whole game that I can find accessible now without having to stress about it. Models just came out of the room. I now have access to fun little toys to pay and paint with. God, I need to get some newer paints. Right, so we're going to paint in at least some of the missile racks on these, or start to paint them in. We're just going to give them a bit of a metal coating. If we can see that up on screen. Your plan has only taken you 20 plus years, Lorcan. It's a real slow burn plan, but it's working for you. They never saw it coming. Turns out to create a community of something, you just be nice to people. Who knew? So I don't know if next week we'll be continuing on, or on Wednesday if we'll be continuing on the mechs, or if we'll be moving on to something else. But I'm glad I got some paint on these because they've been sat on my desk since GaleCon, which is the end of October, just kind of looking at me going, "You could paint me, you know." Alright, we still need a bit of shading in there, and we'll kind of put some tension on the missile racks. Are you the inside man, Nagel? I have to give you a kind of a cool cover story and code name and things like that. It'd be fun to see if they've got some big announcement. The big announcement is they're definitely going to do my Corsair. I'm going to be able to run a full lance of just Frankenmech Corsairs. Which I mean, who wouldn't want that? It's cool. It was nice to see some new cool. Ooh, hello, we knocked over the paint. Some new lance details coming out. I mean, these four Urbanmechs were all kind of a lance that came out of nowhere that I never thought they were going to do. And I was just delighted to get my hands on it when I found out about it. This paint is very, very stodgy. I'm glad to hear you got that sorted. Ads, are you going to release some of the stuff smaller, or is it all just going to be saved until you can do one of everything on a big scale? So I'm looking forward to that video. Yeah, I mean, so as much as some of us love urban mechs, I would be definitely not surprised if a few people were kind of like opened a Savage box and found they had an urban mech. They would be disappointed. See, I'd be quite happy, but not everyone can be as capricious as me. Okay, so Ad Stitch there is he's a YouTuber, and he's a Instagram model painter, and he's a streamer. It's well worth a follow on any of those. Recommend. He's been painting up all the various different hive fleets, different colors, all the termagants in the various different colors of the hive fleets. So I would recommend having a look at that if you get the chance. He needs to stop putting the pictures up on just his story and actually put them up on his page. He just puts them up on the story at the moment. I want to look back through them. And if they were, say, on his Instagram page, I'd be able to look back through them. But no. Going around having his own priorities. How dare he? How very dare he? The Urban Salvage box is just a standard Urban Mech in a box. Oh, it's not actually a draw. Ah, I get you. I thought it was just in the random salvage packs. So you get someone going, oh, I wonder what I've got. I've got a Marauder Mark II, got a Highlander, Spider. No, no, I've got an Urban Mech. It's kind of nice that the Urban Mechs just had their own draw box. Like, oh, I wonder what it's going to be. It's an Urban Mech. It's like, really? What else did you expect from your Urban Mech pack? Doom, doom, doom. Send me the photos, ads. I want to see the photos. So far this lance has got a very limited color palette. I don't know if I'm going to change that. I'm liking it. But I do need to figure out how to add some more color and variation into it. But in general, I am liking the limited color palette. A Firefly or a Flea? They're not mechs he's a fan of. Oh, what are you going to stream tonight, ads? And why is she not streaming tonight? You can just darken down some of these metallics and then put a shine back on them. Doom, 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 doom. playing Ruined King. Don't think I've heard of Ruined King. What's that about? Light it. Have people been earning channel points? Can someone let me know if that's actually been working? Should appear just under the send message bit. Oh, there we go. Channel points is working. Okay. Sweet. Hey, people are earning points. Okay. So, Lorcan, you were here. Oh, there we go. It is working. So I'll have to put in rewards for them to do something so people can actually play around with them. Right. So the main thing we got done today, and the main focus of today, was to get a start on our little urban mech lance. So we've got the main colors blocked in, we've got some of the windows blocked in, and now we've got some of the metallics blocked in. And they're starting to come together. So we have to do some dry brushing on the base to pick out some details. I don't think I'm going to add any flock or anything to it because it would just look very small. I might see if I have some kind of little tufts to make it look like they're walking through bushes or something like that. Some dried out tufts. But yeah, I think we're starting to get there with these. So our first little mats, considering we went from black to where they are today, I'm quite happy with that. What do we think, folks? Was that a success? Well, purple is the sneakiest color to orcs. So yeah, so for kind of a speed run on those, I think that's been quite nice. I think it's working out. I might have something to deploy the next time I am around. Not that this is a good thing to deploy, but I've never been one for letting rationale pick out what I should and shouldn't do in the gaming scene. So now we were just going to have to see if there's anyone we want to raid on the way out. Yeah, there's someone we can raid there. We can go say hello to somebody. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the stream into offline. I'm going to be saying goodbye, but we are going to go raid somebody. So feel free to stick around for that. Thank you all for coming along to the stream. It's all been lovely to see you, and I will hopefully catch you soon.